This story is titled, "Girlfriend Changed My Apartment Locks During Business Trip, Claimed She'd Find a Real Man, but Came Crawling Back When Nobody Wanted Her." Hey everyone, I'm a 36-year-old guy who, until recently, was married to Olivia, my wife of 8 years. We met back in college when we were both struggling financially. She was this quiet economics major cute, but not what you'd call drop-dead gorgeous or anything. Just a girl with big plans and, as I'd later discover, an even bigger attitude when no one else was looking. At the time, I was studying marketing and had some decent family connections. I wasn't rich by any means, but I had enough money to avoid the stereotypical college diet of ramen every night. We got married right after graduation. Nothing fancy, just a courthouse ceremony followed by dinner. My parents paid for everything because her family was basically broke. Looking back, I should have seen that as red flag number 1. Even back then, Olivia was obsessed with money and status, though I was too blind to recognize it. Fast forward to 2 months ago, I've been killing it at my company corner office, company card, nice bonus structure, the whole deal. Olivia was doing pretty well too, working at this finance firm downtown. It was funny how she kept getting promotions every 8 to 10 months when everyone else took years to move up. Almost like someone was pulling strings behind the scenes. Plot twist. It was me. Our marriage was, okay, I guess. Not great, not terrible. We did all the things married couples are supposed to do. Dinner with friends, vacation pictures, maintaining that perfect Instagram life. But something always felt off, like she was just going through the motions or waiting for something better to come along. Then I landed this huge project in Chicago that would keep me away from home for 2 weeks. The potential for major money was there if I pulled it off successfully. Before I left, Olivia went into full supportive wife mode, making my favorite dinner, buying me new luggage, even surprising me with some bedroom fun the night before my departure. "You're going to crush it, babe. I believe in you," she kept saying, her eyes bright with what I thought was genuine support. The first week away was completely normal. We video chatted every night. She'd ask about my meetings, I'd tell her about my day. She'd send me pictures of dinner she supposedly made, though in retrospect she probably ordered in. Everything seemed fine on the surface. But then week 2 hit, and things got weird. Her texts became super short. I'd send paragraphs about how the project was progressing and get back one-word responses like nice or sounds good. Our video calls went from 30, 40 minutes to barely 8 minutes, with Olivia always claiming she was exhausted from work or had early meetings the next day. During one of our video calls, I noticed something different in our living room. We had this emerald throw pillow that Olivia absolutely loved. We'd literally had arguments about moving it when friends came over. But suddenly, it was gone, replaced by this fancy black and gold pillow I'd never seen before. "Hey, what happened to the emerald pillow?" I asked, trying to sound casual. "Oh, that old thing," she replied with a dismissive shrug. "Just needed a change." "Yeah, change. Convenient timing," I muttered, suspicion growing in my mind. That's when I heard it, a man's laughter in the background. "Who's that?" I asked, trying to maintain my composure. "Just the TV," she replied quickly, a flash of nervousness crossing her face. I knew that was a lie. I had installed our entire entertainment system myself, and our TV sound came through a Bose soundbar with very specific audio quality. What I heard was 100% a real person laughing, not television audio. She ended the call a few minutes later, claiming she had a headache. Over the next couple of days, things got even stranger. She stopped answering my goodnight texts. Her location sharing, which we both had always kept on for safety reasons, was suddenly turned off. Her Instagram stories showed our living room from angles she never used before, and I swear I could see a men's watch on our coffee table in one of them. I didn't confront her about any of this. I just watched and waited, gathering information as my suspicions grew. Since I felt something was definitely off, I tried to finish everything in Chicago ahead of schedule. I managed to wrap up the project early and booked a flight home sooner than planned. My flight landed at 2 p.m. on a Thursday. As always, I texted her "just landed," our routine message whenever either of us traveled. Strangely, there was no response, which was unusual since she always replied to that particular message. It had been our thing for years. The Uber ride home felt agonizingly slow. I kept checking my phone every 30 seconds, refreshing my messages in case I somehow missed her reply. Nothing came through. When I finally arrived at our house, I rolled my suitcase up the driveway and put my key in the lock. It didn't work. Thinking I might be doing something wrong because I was tired from the flight, I tried again. That's when I realized the lock was completely different. I stood there, utterly confused. Who would change the locks to our home? My mind was racing with possibilities when my phone buzzed with a message from Olivia. "I found someone better. Don't bother trying to come in. I've moved on." I looked up at our security camera, the one I had installed myself the previous summer. The little red light was on, which meant someone was watching the live feed. She was inside our house, watching me stand there like an idiot with my suitcase, probably laughing with whoever this better guy was. 8 years of marriage, dismissed with a text message. But here's the crazy part. I didn't feel shocked or even particularly upset. I felt weirdly calm, like a part of me had always known this would happen eventually. So instead of pounding on the door or making a scene, I just took a deep breath, stared directly into the security camera and typed, "Are you sure about that?" She started typing a response, but I didn't wait to see it. I turned around, grabbed my suitcase handle, and walked away. No drama, no begging, no emotional breakdown. Just me wheeling my suitcase back down our driveway like I was checking out of a disappointing hotel. As I walked away, I could see the typing indicator appearing and disappearing on my phone screen. She was trying to respond, but couldn't figure out what to say. She had probably expected me to lose it, to give her the satisfaction of seeing me break down. That wasn't going to happen. Not for Olivia, not anymore. What my darling wife didn't realize was that I had been quietly preparing for this possibility for years. All those doors that magically opened for her career, the investments she thought she controlled, the lifestyle she'd grown so comfortable with, I had built it all, and I could tear it all down just as easily if necessary. After walking away from my own house in what felt like a surreal movie scene, though I wasn't truly feeling like a badass, honestly, I was just too shocked to react properly. I checked into a Hampton Inn about 10 minutes away. Nothing fancy, but I needed somewhere to crash and figure out my next move. The first thing I did was call my friend Nathan. We've been tight since sophomore year of college when he became my roommate after my first one dropped out. Nathan has always been that friend who somehow knows everybody's business and isn't afraid to tell you the brutal truth when you need to hear it. "Dude, where the hell are you?" he asked when he picked up. "Your location shows you at some hotel." I gave him the condensed version of what had just happened. He went quiet for a minute, then said, "Give me an hour, I'll call you back." While waiting for Nathan to work his magic, I decided to do some investigating of my own. Olivia has never been the tech-savvy one in our relationship. I literally had to set up her work email signature for her last year. So I tried logging into our shared cloud storage account, and sure enough, she was still using the same password I had set up 3 years ago. Amateur hour. I started scrolling through recently added photos, and there they were, dozens of pictures of Olivia with some guy I'd never seen before. In our house, on our couch, my couch that I paid for with my bonus last year. Some of these photos were from weeks ago, including nights when I was on business trips or working late. There were even a couple from when I was literally on video calls with her. I could see the laptop open in the background while she was cuddled up with this guy. So all those calls where she was so tired and needed to go to bed early? Yeah, she was hooking up with this douchebag in our bed, probably 2 minutes after hanging up with me. My phone buzzed with a message from Olivia. "You're taking this better than I expected. No fighting for us?" Guess I was right about finding someone better. I didn't respond, not yet anyway. Nathan called back right on schedule. "Okay, bro, got the scoop. Your wife's seeing some guy named Derek. Works for a competitor but came in as a client about 3 months ago. They've been spotted all over town," he continued. "That new wine bar on 7th, the steakhouse downtown. Even that Italian place where you guys had your anniversary dinner last year. Classy move." "Unbelievable," I muttered, feeling a strange mix of anger and validation that my suspicions were correct. "Gets better," Nathan continued. "This Derek dude has a reputation. My buddy Dom works in the same industry and says this guy has a pattern. He targets married women who are moving up in their careers, uses them for industry connections and insider info, then ghosts once he gets what he wants. Apparently he's done it at least 3 times before." "So he's using her?" I asked, feeling weirdly satisfied by this information. 100%, Nathan confirmed. "But she doesn't know that yet. Dom says he plays the perfect boyfriend. Expensive gifts, fancy restaurants, the whole deal. Meanwhile, he's gathering intel to take back to his actual employer. This gave me an idea. I thanked Nathan and hung up, then scrolled through my contacts until I found the name I was looking for. Melissa. Melissa works with Olivia at the same firm. She's this stunning brunette with legs for days and an MBA from Wharton. Olivia has always been insanely jealous of her, constantly complaining about how Melissa dresses inappropriately and flirts with everyone's husbands at company events. What Olivia doesn't know is that Melissa has been low-key flirting with me for years. Nothing I ever acted on. I was faithful to Olivia throughout our entire marriage, despite having plenty of opportunities. But Melissa and I always had this undeniable chemistry. She'd find reasons to talk to me at company parties, laugh at all my jokes, touch my arm when we talked. Olivia noticed and absolutely hated it. I hit call, my heart racing slightly as I listened to the phone ring. "Tom, is everything okay?" Melissa answered, sounding surprised to hear from me. "Hey, Melissa," I said, trying to sound casual despite the chaos of my day. "Remember that drink you've been suggesting for the past year? I'm very available tonight." There was a pause, then Melissa laughed, a warm, genuine sound that made me smile for the first time that day. "Well, this is unexpected," she said. "Olivia finally loosen your leash?" "Olivia's out of the picture," I replied simply, permanently. Another pause followed, longer this time. "That bar on 9th, 8 o'clock?" she finally suggested, her voice softer. "Perfect." I hung up, feeling like a weight had been lifted from my shoulders. Then I opened the Photos app on my phone again and looked through pictures of Olivia and me. 8 years together, and she throws it all away for some smooth-talking corporate spy. Part of me was angry, but another part, a larger part than I expected, was almost relieved. Like maybe I'd been waiting for an excuse to end things all along. I took a shower, put on my best jeans and button-down shirt, and headed out to meet Melissa. The whole Uber ride there, my phone kept buzzing with texts from Olivia. "What did you mean by that text, Tom? Please respond. We should talk about this like adults. Are you seriously ignoring me right now?" I turned my phone to silent and put it away. It was time to start the next phase of my life, and I wasn't going to let Olivia's drama interfere with it anymore. Melissa was already at the bar when I arrived, looking incredible in a little black dress that highlighted her figure perfectly. She stood up to hug me, and I caught at least 3 guys giving me envious looks as we embraced. We grabbed a table and ordered drinks, and for the first time in months, I found myself actually enjoying a conversation with a woman. Melissa was smart, funny, and didn't try to make me feel bad about my job or my interests. "So what happened with Olivia?" she eventually asked after our second round of drinks. I gave her the condensed version of events, watching her eyes widen progressively as I filled her in on the locked apartment and my discovery of Olivia's affair. "Holy shit," she said when I finished. "What are you going to do now?" I shrugged, trying to appear casual. "Move on. Starting tonight." Melissa gave me a look that was part sympathy, part something else entirely, something warmer and more inviting. "Well, for what it's worth," she said, leaning in slightly. I always thought she didn't appreciate what she had. We took a selfie with our wine glasses, Melissa's idea. She posted it to her Instagram with the caption, "Finally got that drink," and tagged the location. I knew damn well Olivia followed her social media religiously. By the time we finished dinner, which somehow turned into dessert and another round of drinks, Olivia had called me 17 times. I ignored every single one, focusing instead on the engaging woman sitting across from me and the surprising ease of our connection. When Melissa and I left the restaurant, I suggested walking her home since it was only a few blocks away. Outside her apartment, she hesitated, keys in hand. "Want to come up?" she asked. "No pressure, just, it's still early." Part of me thought it was too soon to get involved with someone else, especially someone from Olivia's workplace. The other part, the part that had seen those pictures of Olivia and Derek on my couch, believed life was too short for hesitation. "I'd love to," I replied simply. By morning, Olivia had blown up my phone with over 30 messages, ranging from angry to confused to desperate. I ignored them all and posted a new picture to my own Instagram, just the view from Melissa's balcony with 2 coffee cups visible on the table. The caption read, "Great start to a new chapter." After Melissa left for work, with plans to meet up again that night, I opened my laptop and started sending emails to some old colleagues, people who might be interested to know about a certain corporate spy named Derek, who had been gathering insider information through his relationship with an executive at their competitor. By midnight, I had set up meetings with 3 different people who could help me systematically dismantle everything Olivia thought she'd built on her own. She wanted to play dirty? Fine. I invented the game. But here's something that Olivia never figured out. I didn't just help with her career. I basically built the whole damn thing from scratch. 5 years ago, Olivia was stuck as an assistant account manager, making peanuts and constantly getting passed over for promotions. She'd come home crying practically every other week about how Jessica got promoted instead of me, or they hired some new guy from outside instead of promoting me. She was always the victim, never considering that maybe she just wasn't that good at her job. I remember one night after another crying session about being overlooked, I decided to make some calls. My family isn't mega rich or anything, but we've got connections. My uncle Rick was on the board of directors at this mid-size investment firm that was looking to expand their client base. I arranged a chance meeting between Olivia and the hiring manager at some charity event my mom organized. 2 weeks later, Olivia got an offer for senior account manager, basically skipping 2 levels from where she was before. She was over the moon, thinking it was all because of her amazing interview skills. But here's the thing, I didn't just make an introduction. I actually invested a pretty significant chunk of money, like $250,000 from my trust fund, in the firm, under a shell company called Turner Holdings. Turner is my mom's maiden name. Not exactly subtle, right? But Olivia never bothered to look into it. She was so excited about her fancy new business cards and corner office that she literally just signed wherever the HR lady pointed, including an agreement giving significant control to the silent investor who provided capital for her division's expansion. Guess who that investor was? Yep, yours truly. Anyway, I was in my hotel room the morning after staying at Melissa's place. That girl is wild, by the way. The things she can do with her tongue should be illegal in at least 12 states. And I was putting together my game plan. First move, figure out exactly what Olivia had been up to with company finances. Remember how I said I helped set up her accounts? Well, I also made sure I remained listed as an advisory consultant on most of them, which basically gave me backdoor access to see what she was spending. Not that I ever used it. I trusted her. Until now. I logged in, and holy shit, the spending in the last month was insane. A $9,000 designer couch, a $6,000 watch, a weekend trip to Napa Valley for client relations that cost over $5,000, all on the company card, all poorly disguised as business expenses. Then I got a call from Katie, Olivia's sister. We've always gotten along pretty well. She's the normal one in Olivia's family. "Tom, you busy? We need to talk," she said, her voice tense. "What's up?" I asked, still scrolling through Olivia's expense reports. "I can't keep quiet anymore. Derek, the guy Olivia's seeing, he's bad news. Like, really bad news. He's done this before, multiple times," she continued without waiting for my response. "Done what exactly?" I asked, though I already had a pretty good idea. "He targets women in positions like Olivia's, romances them, gets them to share confidential info, then disappears once he has what he needs. 3 women at other companies lost their jobs because of him last year." I wasn't even surprised at this point. "How do you know all this?" I asked. "Because Olivia's been asking me to hold documents for her, said it was just in case things went south at work," Katie explained. "I looked at them last night, Tom. It's bad. She's been moving serious money around, big purchases hidden as business expenses. And there are emails between her and Derek discussing confidential client information. Now we were getting somewhere." "Can you send me copies?" I asked. "Already did. Check your email." Sure enough, there they were in my inbox. Dozens of documents showing Olivia had been embezzling company funds and leaking confidential information to Derek. The files contained information about upcoming mergers, client portfolios, investment strategies, sensitive data that could literally tank the company if it got into the wrong hands. And the best part? All of it was sent from her work email, the one I helped set up, the one with the recovery phone number that went to my phone because Olivia was too busy to deal with IT security when she started. It was time to make some moves. First, I called my lawyer, Daniel. We play golf together sometimes, and he helped with my parents' estate planning. I gave him a rundown of the situation and emailed over the most important documents. "Jesus Christ, Tom," he said after reviewing the files. "This is serious stuff. Embezzlement, corporate espionage. She could face actual jail time for this." "I'm not looking to put her in jail," I explained. "I just want to make sure she doesn't walk away with everything we've built, everything I've built." Daniel was quiet for a minute, processing the situation. Okay, here's what we do next. After our call, I texted Olivia. Just had an interesting chat about those expense reports, particularly the ones from last month. The couch looks great in our living room, by the way. Italian, right? The company might want to know where the money came from, though. Her response was immediate. What are you talking about? Oh, and Derek's history with the company makes for fascinating reading. 3 settlements in 2 years, impressive resume. The typing indicator appeared and disappeared several times before her next message came through. Tom, we need to talk. After my meeting with the ethics committee tomorrow. Her panic was palpable through the screen. What meeting? I asked innocently. Tom, please, she replied, desperation evident in those 2 simple words. I didn't respond. Instead, I posted another picture with Melissa, this time from breakfast at this fancy place downtown. Melissa looked amazing in the morning light, all tousled hair and bright eyes. The post got around 50 likes in 10 minutes, including from several of our mutual friends. Olivia's sister Katie called again. She's freaking out. Called me screaming about some ethics meeting and asking if I took her documents. I played dumb, but Tom, I'm worried about what she might do. Just stay clear of her today, I advised. Things are about to get complicated. I spent the rest of the day making calls and setting up for tomorrow. I scheduled meetings with the head of Olivia's company, their security director, and the finance manager who had been giving Olivia side-eye about her spending for months, but couldn't nail her down. It was time to drop the hammer. By evening, everything was in place. I met Melissa for dinner at this little Thai place where nobody from Olivia's work would go. She was wearing this tight green dress that made me forget about revenge for about 2 hours. So what's the plan for tomorrow? Melissa asked over dessert. Full nuclear option? No, controlled demolition, I explained, shaking my head. I don't want to destroy the company, just extract Olivia from it with minimal damage to everyone else. She raised an eyebrow. That's surprisingly merciful of you. I shrugged. The company didn't do anything wrong, and there are people there who depend on their jobs. Including me, Melissa pointed out. Especially you, I agreed, and she gave me that look again, the one that had been making me forget my own name since the night before. My phone buzzed with a notification from our home security system. Motion detected in the home office. I opened the app to see Olivia frantically going through filing cabinets, pulling out folders and throwing papers everywhere. She was looking for evidence, for the paperwork that would show how deep my involvement with her career went. What she didn't know was that all the important documents were in a safe deposit box across town. The safe behind our honeymoon photo that she was currently trying to pry open contained nothing but a single note I had left there months ago. You should have read the fine print. I showed Melissa the security feed, and she nearly spit out her wine laughing. Oh my God, she looks insane, Melissa exclaimed, watching the footage with wide eyes. Olivia called 7 more times that night. I let them all go to voicemail. The last one, she was actually crying. Tom, please, whatever you think you know, it's not what it looks like. Her voice wavered through the speaker. Derek isn't who you think he is. He's been helping me with my career. Please just call me back before you do something we'll both regret. Too late for that, Olivia. About 8 years too late. I fell asleep in Melissa's bed with a strange sense of peace. I knew that tomorrow, Olivia was going to learn exactly who she'd been married to all these years. And it wasn't the pushover she thought I was. The last thing I did before falling asleep was send one final text to Olivia. Check your email at 8 a.m. tomorrow. Pay special attention to the attachment from March 15th. March 15th, the day she signed the partnership agreement 5 years ago, the one she clearly never read carefully enough. Game on. I woke up at 5:30 a.m. feeling like it was Christmas morning. Today was the day Olivia would realize exactly how screwed she was. I carefully slid out of bed, trying not to wake Melissa, and grabbed my laptop. First order of business, sending that email I promised Olivia. I attached the partnership agreement from 5 years ago, the one where she's clearly listed as a managing partner whose position is contingent on approval from Turner Holdings, the one that gives the primary investor, aka me, authority to review all financial decisions, the one with a very specific clause about ethical violations resulting in immediate asset review. I also attached screenshots of her expense reports for the last 3 months, with all the personal purchases highlighted in bright yellow, the $9,000 couch, the $6,000 watch she bought Derek, the weekend trips, all neatly categorized and cross-referenced with social media posts, proving they were personal expenses, not business-related. I included screenshots of her emails with Derek discussing confidential client information she had absolutely no right to share with anyone, let alone an employee of a competing firm. I hit send at exactly 8 a.m., then opened the home security app to watch the show. Sure enough, Olivia was in the kitchen with her phone, still wearing yesterday's clothes. She looked like hell, mascara smeared, hair a mess. I guess she had a rough night destroying our home office looking for documents that weren't there. Her phone pinged, she picked it up, opened the email, and I wish the camera had better resolution, because watching the color drain from her face was priceless. She dropped into a chair, scrolling frantically through the attachments. Then she started calling me again. I declined the call and texted, "No time to talk. Meeting the CEO in 30 minutes. That got her moving. She ran upstairs, presumably to shower and change. Meanwhile, I was getting dressed myself, putting on my best suit. The one Olivia always said made me look intimidatingly successful. I grabbed an Uber to Olivia's company headquarters. This fancy glass building downtown that practically screamed, "We manage rich people's money here." The receptionist buzzed me into the main conference room where the CEO and executive team were waiting. When I walked in, the company bigwigs were already there, including a woman I'll call Gloria, the finance lady, who'd always looked at Olivia suspiciously. "Tom," the CEO stood to shake my hand, "thanks for bringing this to our attention." The door burst open and Olivia rushed in, looking like she got dressed in a tornado, hair still wet, blouse buttoned wrong, a complete mess. "Tom, what are you doing here?" Her voice cracked when she saw me. I smiled pleasantly. "Just showing your bosses how you've been stealing company money and leaking secrets." "That's..." Olivia sputtered. Then suddenly her eyes narrowed. "Wait, I saw you with Melissa last night. You posted it on Instagram. Is that what this is about?" I ignored her accusation and slid the folder toward the CEO, bank statements, expense reports, and emails showing everything. "This is revenge because I cheated!" Olivia yelled, getting louder. "You're fucking my coworker, and now you're trying to destroy me!" The CEO cleared his throat. "Olivia, your personal drama isn't our concern. The $9,000 couch and leaked documents, however, are..." "This is all because of Melissa!" Olivia screamed, completely losing it. "She's wanted him for years! They planned this together!" "Derek Marshall was caught trying to access our servers this morning," Gloria cut in coldly. "Security removed him from the building." Olivia collapsed into a chair, the fight draining out of her. That's not possible," she mumbled, then looked up at me. "But how did you access everything?" "Turner Holdings," I replied calmly. "That's me. I'm your silent investor." The color drained from her face as everything clicked into place. You set me up," she whispered. "No, you set yourself up," I replied. "I just built in a failsafe." As security escorted her out, she turned back with tears streaming down her face. Was it worth it? Destroying me just to be with her? "How long have you two been planning this?" "This has nothing to do with Melissa," I replied. "This is about your choices, the embezzlement, the corporate espionage. Cheating was just the beginning." "You, Tom," she spat. "You'll regret this." After security led Olivia away, the CEO turned to me. "That was intense. You okay?" "I'm fine," I said. "Just glad it's over." "We owe you for catching this," he said. "Could have cost us millions if it continued. We'll handle it quietly. She can resign or face charges." We wrapped up the meeting in about 20 minutes. As I was leaving, the CEO added, "For what it's worth, I'm sorry about your marriage, but the company appreciates your discretion." I nodded and headed out, seeing no need to explain that I'd been planning for this possibility for years. As I was leaving the building, my phone exploded with notifications. Nathan had texted, "Dude, check your security cameras. Olivia's destroying your house." I pulled up the app to see Olivia throwing things and screaming. She was tearing through drawers and smashing picture frames. I couldn't hear the audio, but it was clear she'd completely lost it. I texted Nathan back, "Let her rage. Nothing important there anyway." By the time I met Melissa for lunch, Olivia had called 37 times and left 14 voicemails. The last one actually made me pause. You and that bitch have been planning this all along, haven't you? I saw the way she looked at you at the Christmas party. Was she fucking you then too? Is that why you set me up? You wanted her instead, so you destroyed me? I will burn your life down. I swear to God. You think you're so smart with your Turner Holdings, I will make you regret this, both of you. I was still staring at my phone when Melissa reached across the table and took my hand. Everything okay? You look stressed, she asked, concern evident in her eyes. I deleted the voicemail and squeezed her hand reassuringly. Olivia's not taking it well. She thinks we planned this together. Melissa raised an eyebrow. Seriously? I didn't even know you were interested until you called me yesterday. Yeah, well, it's easier to blame us than accept responsibility, I said with a shrug. Don't worry about it. So what happens next? Melissa asked, taking a sip of her wine. I smiled. Now we move to phase 2. And just like that, phase 2 began. The very next morning, I met with Daniel, my lawyer, at his downtown office. The guy looked like he hadn't slept in days, but his eyes lit up when I walked in. Tom, perfect timing, he exclaimed. I've been reviewing your situation, and well, it's beautiful, legally speaking. I grabbed a seat across from him. Beautiful how? That partnership agreement Olivia signed 5 years ago? It's bulletproof, Daniel explained enthusiastically. The ethical violations clause triggers an immediate review of all personal assets acquired during the partnership period. I couldn't help but grin. And what exactly does that mean for Olivia? Daniel started ticking things off on his fingers. The house, purchased with a loan you guaranteed through your family's bank connections. Her BMW company lease you arranged. The vacation property in Tahoe, joint asset but primarily funded by your investments. Even her designer wardrobe, mostly purchased using company funds you helped her access. So basically everything, I summarized. Basically everything, Daniel confirmed with a nod. She'll be left with her personal savings account, about $118,000 based on the statements you provided, and those student loans you've been paying. You mean the student loans I stopped paying last month? I corrected him. Daniel's eyebrows shot up. Damn, you really thought of everything. I learned from the best, I said, nodding at him appreciatively. We spent the next hour mapping out the strategy. By noon, papers were filed, accounts were frozen, and the wheels of justice started turning, slowly, but definitely in my direction. I headed back to the hotel to find Melissa waiting in the lobby, looking stunning as always. How'd it go with the lawyer? She asked as we walked to a nearby cafe for lunch. Let's just say Olivia's about to learn what financial ruin really means, I replied. Melissa winced. You sound brutal, deserved, but brutal. I shrugged. She didn't just cheat on me. She tried to completely torch my career too. If I hadn't fed her fake information about those projects, I could have been implicated in insider trading. I could have faced actual jail time. When you put it that way, Melissa nodded slowly, I see your point. Still, she continued after a moment, people at work already think I'm the reason your marriage ended. Let them think whatever they want, I replied, reaching for her hand across the table. We know the truth, which is that Olivia demolished our marriage all by herself. And you're just the smart, gorgeous woman who happened to be in the right place at the right time. Melissa smiled at that. Smooth talker, no wonder Olivia's telling everyone you manipulated her. My phone buzzed with a text from Katie. Olivia showed up at my apartment at 3 a.m. completely hysterical, screaming about how I betrayed her by giving you those documents. I arranged to meet Katie at the hotel lobby after lunch. When she arrived, she looked exhausted, with dark circles under her eyes. You okay? I asked, genuinely concerned. Katie had always been the normal one in Olivia's family. I'm fine, she assured me. I told her she betrayed herself by cheating on you and committing actual crimes. Katie rubbed her temples, clearly still processing everything. She's staying with our parents now. They think you're the devil, by the way. She convinced them you set her up from the beginning. I shrugged. Not from the beginning. Just from the moment I realized she was the kind of person who might need setting up. Katie actually laughed at that. You know what the craziest part is? Derek dumped her the second things went south, called her damaged goods and blocked her number, after everything she risked for him. Not surprised, I said. He got what he wanted, or thought he did. About that fancy couch, that $9,000 Italian monstrosity Olivia bought to impress Derek. Turns out she didn't just use regular company funds. She used money from a special account specifically set up for the upcoming merger, the same merger Derek was gathering intel on for his company. So not only did she embezzle, she literally stole from the exact project her boyfriend was trying to sabotage. You can't make this stuff up. I had known Olivia would do something like this. 5 years of marriage taught me that. She couldn't resist flaunting wealth, fancy cars, designer bags, Instagram perfect vacations. So 3 months before my Chicago trip, I started laying a trap. Every conversation about work, every deal I mentioned over dinner was carefully planted misinformation. The real projects were locked behind NDAs she never knew existed. So when she fed Derek what she thought was insider info, his company ended up chasing ghosts, wasting millions on deals that never existed. Everything unraveled fast. Within 2 weeks, Derek got fired. Turns out once you're exposed as a corporate spy, no one wants you around. Olivia, realizing her life was crumbling, bombarded me with desperate messages, blaming me for ruining her. I had Daniel send a cease and desist letter, and that was that. She even tried fighting the prenup, but the judge dismissed it outright, citing her crimes. The truth is, she made her choices, and in the end, my choice was always better. Speaking of better choices, karma delivered one right to my door. A courier showed up with a padded envelope a few weeks later. Inside was a house key and a note in Olivia's handwriting. I understand now. You didn't just help build my career. You designed it with a self-destruct sequence. No apology, just recognition. Whatever. The divorce is final now. Nathan dropped by my new downtown loft for coffee one morning. Divorce looks good on you, he joked, looking around at my new place. Revenge looks better, I replied with a smirk. Was all this worth it, though? He asked more seriously. The years of planning, setting up those fail-safes. It wasn't about revenge, I explained. It was protection. Like insurance you hope never to use. Still, did you have to take everything? Katie says she's working at Target now, Nathan said, a hint of concern in his voice. I shrugged. She made her choices. Everything after was just consequences. What happened to that Derek guy? Unemployable in finance, moved to Florida. Florida man strikes again, Nathan laughed. And you and Melissa? Right on cue, Melissa walked in with takeout. Things between us are good. We're taking it slow, but she practically lives here now. No games, no manipulation, just something real. Later, I showed Melissa Olivia's note. Are you going to respond? She asked, studying the handwriting. Nothing to say. It's over, I said, and I meant it. And it really is over. My career has exploded upward. I'm now leading the expansion division after our merger tripled the stock price. My options are worth 7 figures now. Olivia could have shared in all this, but instead, she's living in her childhood bedroom and working retail. The final piece of irony? That $9,000 couch Olivia bought with company money now sits in my corner office, a trophy symbolizing her downfall. Katie texted me yesterday. Olivia saw your promotion announcement, cried for hours. From an unknown number I received, you planned this all along, didn't you? I didn't respond. Some questions answer themselves. Would I have triggered those fail-safes if she hadn't cheated? No. I built them for protection, not destruction. But once she crossed that line and put my career at risk, all bets were off. You know what the best revenge is? Melissa asked last night as we were getting ready for bed. What's that? I asked. Living well, she murmured, snuggling closer. And you're crushing it. She's right. The best revenge isn't destroying someone's world. It's letting them destroy it themselves while thinking they're winning, then building something better from the ruins. Olivia thought she found someone better. Turns out I did. Sometimes the best things in life aren't free. They're just paid for by someone else's mistakes.